Yeah, it says I'm live. How about that? I didn't know. Yeah, got everything in the world popping up as I'm trying to do this. But I'm here to take questions of anybody who wants to jump in and ask a question. I'm probably not going to be on long, though. Would anybody like to come on and talk about music, songwriting, AI, AI music, AI videos? I've been doing a lot of that lately. I've done multi-track recording. I play a little bit of guitar, a little bit of keyboards, a little bit of harmonica, and I sing. So I don't have a guitar with me today. I'm just here to talk and answer questions for anybody who shows up. I'm new to live. I've done it a couple times on Patreon, and I'm not real thrilled with it there. So I'm hoping that I get to see a few of you today. But of course, it's football time, so that may not be something that happens. I do have a Bears game, Chicago Bears, at 3:20 today, Central Time. We're doing a little travel right now, so we're not at home. But I've been, experimenting with AI music and AI videos, and I've been doing that while we've been on the road. Probably shouldn't be, because we should be paying attention to the people we came to visit, and I try to. So sometimes I'm working, sometimes I'm not. But Monday I have to go and be at work remotely. So I'm not sure how my productivity will be for music in the next few days. But we should be back home soon, and I can do my evening shows like I used to. The way I did the Friday night strum-alongs is I recorded a whole long set of probably 40 minutes worth of songs, and I picked out what made the most sense to put in the actual posted strum along. But I also post the long video elsewhere on Patreon for people to see if you want to. If you're on now and you want to subscribe, maybe I'll do some more lives. I expect to. I think it's a good idea for me to do this. So, but I can answer lots of questions. I can't stay on forever. I don't see anybody out there right now, so I kind of wondered what would happen here too. It kind of doesn't look like anything's happening. So if you're around and you can post on the chat something like this. And hopefully I can see that. Guard your privacy by abiding by our community guidelines. Yeah. If you have big ideas about us, not being at home right now, we've got people watching the house and it's being taken care of. I don't think we have any concerns there, but right now I'm elsewhere. I'm not going to say where, and I'm not going to use personal information, but you can kind of, get a good idea. We actually moved from Chicago. So we've lived in a couple different places here in the Chicago area, but right now we're visiting a family member. So, all right. Well, I'm not seeing much coming up. I'm happy to talk about lots of things, but I don't really know what what you, the audience, would like to see or hear from me. How do I write songs, for instance? I sit down and write a word jumble. I might make a song that's completely nonsensical, and then mold it into something a little bit better. That's kind of what some folk players did back in the 60s and 70s. They just did like a word jumble onto a page, and it could be, all kind. It wouldn't necessarily be lyrics. It would just be, lines that sounded, nice or something like that. And then ultimately they would pick up their lines and put them into their lyrics. So that's one way to go. You could start by creating a set of chords that you like to play, and then put words to your chords. You can sing in the shower. I mean, that's doable. I've done that a couple times, or on long hikes. I did, while our house was being built, we had one house in one part of the city and another house in another part of the city, and so I'd walk between the houses, and that would take a while. So I would be, singing songs in my head, and then eventually writing them down and trying to make sense out of them. You could start with an existing song. I was thinking about that a couple days ago. I was thinking about a song like, "What are you gonna do with my heart now, baby? Now that I've given my entire self to you." So it kind of sounds like Janis Joplin to me. So, but usually I start at the end. Do I have a dump button on this thing? Sorry. Well, yeah, I usually start at the absolute hook, so the biggest hook in the song. So, for instance, and I break my rules all the time too. So I might have a song that says, um, I don't know, I might use a hook, the main hook. So now I'm thinking about it. Okay, what, well, like a place like that has the hook at the very end of the chorus, but I could have done something where I put that same hook at the beginning of the chorus too. I think that works better for a lot of songs. But I'll put the name of the song. In fact, in Goodbye Sydney, Goodbye Sydney is nowhere in the song, but I kept saying I want to tell Sydney goodbye. So I guess I named my song the final outcome of the song, Goodbye Sydney. So it's just stuff like that. Just what else can I tell you? I have not written for any professional artists, but I'd like to. I think I've got some good stuff, so eventually it'll be better even. And that's kind of the place to start too, is you got to write. So if you're gonna write, you got to write, because your first song is not going to be your best song. It'll probably be more like your 100th song. So you just keep writing. You write all the time. You write every day. You think of new ideas, put them down on paper, put them in your voice memo, just things like that. So just start writing, keep writing, and eventually it all gets better, especially when you start learn some tricks about what makes a song popular. And I'm sure you want to know that right now. If you're already a songwriter and you want to know what makes a song great, there's a few things. So I guess economy of words is important. I'm learning that more and more as I'm trying to have somebody else record my lyrics, because